From the way you wear your hair, when you glance across the room and stare in the distance, your style and the clothes you wear, you were created just for me. You're beautiful the way you are. Don't you know that you're brighter than the star, girl? I want you to know who you are. You're beautiful to me. You're beautiful to me. You're beautiful to me. You're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Bring your love, bring your love to me. Just bring your love, bring it on to me. Yeah, your smile, your dimples, created beautifully. I don't make mistakes. I created you fearfully, my love.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk CNAs, a show for CNAs by CNAs. I'm your host, Wendell, and this is my lovely co-host, Angel.
Hello, and we are here at the Waver Studio in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yay, yay!
And today's show, we will be talking about hospital readmissions.
That's right, Angel. And did you know that in 2013, the AARP stated that over 2/3 of all hospitals were penalized over $227 million for excessive hospital readmissions?
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
That's right, it is. I wish I had that money. Well, Angel, are you ready to start the show?
I sure am.
All right, well, in that case, let's get on the good foot. Get on the good foot. Let's have a conversation.
Let's talk CNAs. Let's talk CNAs. Let's talk CNAs. Okay, let's have a conversation.
All right, thank you for being on the show, Joe. Could you tell us a little something about yourself?
Well, I'm a nurse over at Honor Health Johnson Lincoln. I started off as a CNA,
Yay,
EMT.
yay.
This one right here trained me.
This one?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we worked together for a couple years.
All right,
Only trained
Angel.
professional.
Already.
That's it.
So I got my nursing license about a year ago.
All right,
So,
congratulations,
Proud of
Joe.
you.
Congratulations. So, how long were you a CNA before you became a nurse?
7 years.
About 7. Oh,
7
wow,
years.
wow.
And I was
That's
an
a lot.
EMT a couple
Yeah.
years before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been
wow.
in healthcare for like 13 years total.
Oh,
You know, I
wow.
think the best nurses are ones that have been CNAs.
I agree with
I
you
do.
on that.
Yes.
I agree with you on that.
Yes.
I totally do. All right. Well, Joe, again, thank you for being on the show. And as you know, we have what we call a $1 million segment. And your $1 million question comes from 50 CNAs who wanted to know what's the difference between Medicare and Medicaid?
Okay, so Medicare. So when I looked it up, so
That's right. That's research.
Medicare is for disabled people and people over 65. That's their health insurance. So
Okay.
depending on if you're considered disabled. And then Medicaid is state level and federal level for people with, lower income. So like access or, so that's their way to get health insurance.
Okay.
All
That makes
right.
sense. That makes sense. All right, Joe, can you explain to us what the hospital readmission reduction program is?
Yeah, so in a few years ago, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, came out noticing that hospital readmissions were costing healthcare a lot of money. So for these certain topics, acute MIs, CHF, COPD, total replacements of hip and knee, cabbages, that within 30 days, the people came back within 30 days. Some part of that won't be what's that called? Reimbursed. So, and I think the top amount is 3%. So what happens is that they take your hospital compared to other similar hospitals and look at your readmissions, and they give you a level that you can be at. And then they look at the national level, and depending on where you fall, so if you come back every year higher, you get a bigger deduction.
Okay.
But if you're better, you don't get that deduction. So that's how they go off averages. So you can have some readmissions because some are, people are going to be readmitted.
Right.
But like CHF readmission. I think it's 1 in 4, are within the first month that they'll come back. So if they're not followed up with, so that's what that is.
So just so everybody would know, can you explain what CHF is?
So CHF is chronic heart failure, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is when you have this, what they call your ejection fraction, how hard your heart pumps,
Okay.
how much blood percentage is leaving your heart with every pump,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Normal is about 60, low normal about 50. When it gets under 40, they consider that heart failure.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So then you think about different sides of the heart. So right side works on your lower body and your stomach area. Left side is your lungs, right? And that water builds up, and if your water builds up a lot, that's when they get those side effects of can't breathe or very swollen. They have to come in a lot.
Okay.
They get diuresis the water off. That's what leads to the readmissions.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Very
That's
understandable.
understandable.
Very understandable.
So, Joe, what is considered a hospital readmission?
A hospital readmission, like I said, was to any hospital within 30 days of a discharge. So it can go to any hospital. So it's not just that hospital back to that hospital you went to. So, any hospital, they go within 30 days, unless it's considered planned. There's planned ones, so that's what it is. And it has to be inpatient, not observation, not, outpatient. It's all inpatient stuff. So.
Okay, that makes sense, and I'm glad you said that, Joe, because actually, does Medicare pay for the first 30 days of readmission, and how does that affect long-term care?
So, how much they pay? I think it's overall a percentage. So it's not that they just don't pay for that readmission, right? It's an overall percentage of how much they're getting back. So it's 3% max. 3% of what a hospital makes could be a lot of money. So I don't know exact monies, but it's not like that they're not getting paid. It's just depending how much they're not going to cover. So it's still less.
Right.
And the problem with that, less money means less resources. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So, and then you talk about long-term care. If they have to go to a SNF or acute rehab place, and it's and it's been over, they can only go to those for so long. I'm not 100% sure how long, but so let's say they've been to one already, and then they come back. It's to the point where they won't cover another stay. So then they have to like Coronado has to take them, and uninsured, and then then they have to make that up other ways.
Exactly.
And that's how it affects. Is that how it affects long-term care? Is that if they only pay 3%, but if they come back and they're not covered under insurance, then Coronado, for instance, would have to make that bill for whatever bills accumulate with that neighbor.
And then you would have to take from, the budget, and that's
here and there.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. And is there anything long-term care facilities can do to stop hospital readmissions?
Yeah. So what we said is continuance of care, right? So that's like the biggest thing when it comes to stopping readmissions is getting the care continually. Right. So they come into the hospital, they're very closely monitored. Nurse has 5-6 patients, and they can see these people, and doctors are coming in every day, so they get their symptoms taken care of, they get better, and they go home and they're not watched. Right. And then what happens, or they go to a long-term facility and the nurses have 30 patients.
Exactly.
So it gets to a point where they're not watched and symptoms get passed and they get worse and worse, and then they go back in again, right? So the first thing would be continuum of care is essential, right?
That makes a lot of sense.
Second is education, right? Knowing these signs and symptoms of worsening condition and be able to eye them when they get early enough. So like CHF, if they get 2 pounds weight within the first day, we can notify the doctor, get an extra order of diuretic, so then they get better the next day. They don't have to go, it doesn't get worse.
So that's retaining water.
So so every weight is the number one thing for retaining water, right? So 2 pounds in a day, they can do that, and then all of a sudden it's 4 pounds, and then 5 pounds, then all of a sudden they're they can't breathe, or they're super overloaded. Now they need IV stuff, and it's too late, right? So that that's another way of doing it. Also, education on the patient, right? So if nurse or even the CNAs, they keep on reminding the people, educating people, when you leave here, you still have to take these medications, or when you leave here, you have to make sure you weigh yourself like we're weighing you every day. Constant reinforcement, so we can continuing to keep it up.
Right. And that really helps when the resident or the patient knows, about what they should be doing. The education really helps. It really
that's
does.
true. That's true. Because I can remember after my surgery, I was very scared. It has nothing to do with this. Well, it may have something to do with it. I wasn't readmitted, but it may have something to do with it. But I remember when they was discharging me, they was making sure that I was comfortable with going home at that time with the orders that was being given to me, in order to take care of myself. I felt like I was confident enough to take care of myself, that I wouldn't need anybody or anyone to come in and take care of me. So would that be considered part of readmission,
Yeah. Well, that's definitely part, I work in an observation unit, right? So, they come in for 24 hours, 40 hours, but we get a lot of hand surgeries. We get a lot of different surgeries, and people come in and we have to worry about, can they take care of the wound?
Right.
After that, right? And are they comfortable? Because if they go home and they're not comfortable changing, they're not going to change it. It gets infected, they're going to come back. Right? So, it's all about that. Again, it's educating the CHA person. This is what you need to do.
Exactly.
And so, we want you to call if you have these symptoms so we can help you before you have to come back here. It's all about quality of life and continuing that quality of life, right? Because if you're always in the hospital, in and out, you're not having a good quality of life.
Right.
No, you're not.
Right. All right, Joe, our producer is telling us that we have about 30 seconds left.
So we have any last words you want to say to everybody?
Yeah. First, for CNAs, you go past the traditional CNA role, right? If people think CNAs are just hold, the bathroom or washing, stuff like that. Expand your knowledge, continuous improvement, continuous education is super important, even as a CNA. Because you are the eyes and ears of a nurse.
Okay.
Straight up, you're nursing assistant. You're not nursing bathroom nursing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you're there to assist us.
Butt wipers. You're not just butt wipers.
Yeah. So when you come to long-term care with 30 patients, you guys are the eyes and ears. You see the patients more. So if you notice something worse, you have to let the nurse know by knowing what's critical, right?
Well, Wendell, didn't we have an awesome, great show?
We sure did, Angel. And I would like to leave you with this quote. A goal is a dream with a deadline by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, I really love that
So do I,
saying.
Angel.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, make sure you check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
That's right. And we'd like to thank our special guest, Nurse Joe, for being on the show. And we'd like to thank you for watching the show. And we'll see you next time on
Let's Talk CNAs, where knowledge is empowering.
Get on the good foot. Get on the good foot. Work it out on the scene. Like a love machine.
Hey!
Hey!
Let's have a conversation. 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 Let's have a conversation.